Alright, Eastleigh. Are we good?
Yes!
Alright, I hope you're having a better day than I am. I didn't have anything to eat until about an hour before I had to leave to come here. So what I decided to do was to eat a £1 microwavable burrito. And on the train here, I started to feel a bit iffy. And when I got here, I ran straight to the bathroom. Because as I'm sure you can imagine, after eating a £1 microwavable burrito, I desperately needed a line of Coke. Just to take the edge off, do you know what I mean? Now let me introduce myself. My name is Michael, and there's one rule when you watch me perform, and that's no heckling. There's two reasons why you shouldn't heckle. Number one, don't be a knobhead. And number two, you're not going to beat the best heckling I've ever seen. This happened about 6 weeks ago, right? There was a host and 5 acts. I was one of the 5 acts. And the host at the start of the night announced to the audience that he just started watching Game of Thrones. I know, super late to the game, right? And every time he left and returned to the stage, an audience member would heckle a spoiler. Which is so wholesome yet savage at the same time. So he'd come back on stage and someone would go, "Ned Stark dies!" And you see the life drain from his eyes. Then he'd leave, come back a little bit later, and someone would go, "King Joffrey dies!" And he'll be like, "He's not even a king," at the bit I'm at. That's a double spoiler. Fuck! And the thing is, I watched Game of Thrones when it was first coming out, a new episode every week, and I had no idea what was going to happen because I didn't read the books, because I'm not a nerd, right? And the thing I liked about Game of Thrones the most is that a main character could have been killed off at any time. That's what kept it interesting. I just wish that other TV shows took a page out of that book. Because can you imagine watching something like Friends? And season 5, episode 4, Joey just stabs Ross. Ross just walks in and Joey goes, "Oh hey, what's up man?" Stab, stab, stab. Ross falls to the floor, Joey stands over him and goes, "Hey Ross, how are you doing?" Then Chandler will come in and go, "Could he be any more dead?" For those of you who didn't laugh at that last bit, I'm guessing you were just stunned at how bang on that Chandler Bing but no, let me introduce myself. My name is Michael. I'm a single man, ladies and gentlemen, like all responsible single people. The other day I went to the STD clinic. Give me a cheer if you've been!
Woo!
Yeah. Alright, good for you guys. So to the rest of the liars in the room, the STD clinic's a bit of a weird place where you get in there a nurse and invite you into her office and ask a bunch of embarrassing and personal questions. Question 1, Mike, when was the last time you had sex? I said 3 days ago. She said, "Did that include oral sex?" And I went, "You're fucking right it did." And I could tell she wasn't amused by my answer. 1, by her stern face. And 2, by how long it took her to return my high five. Now the last question they ask you in this sort of place, you're, "Mike, have you ever had sex with someone from outside of Europe?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Okay, what country were they from?" I said, "Britain." And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my cleverest joke. But no, I went on a date recently, and what I like to do, I like to have fun on a date. Because sometimes it can feel a bit formal to break the ice. So me and my date, we arrive at a restaurant that I've picked. We sit down, we've barely spoken, we literally matched on the apps. "Hey, what are you up to tonight? Do you want to go for dinner?" She was like, "Sure." Off we went. We sit down, and she goes, "So, what do you do?" And for a laugh, I went, "Well, usually you just sort of like look at the menu and then tell the waiter what you want." That's how restaurants work. There wasn't a second date. Right, I did go on a date recently, and basically it started to feel a bit like a job interview. So she was like, "So Mike, are you single? I was like, yeah. And she's like, okay, is there anyone that would be upset about hearing you say that you're single? And I was like, yes, my mum. She's fuming. She wants grandkids. That's the stage we're at. So to break up the sort of questioning I was getting, I just said, what's the worst first date you've ever been on? Don't say this one. And she told me she got the ick halfway through a dinner with someone because he was giving off LinkedIn influencer vibes. We all know what that guy looks like. He's got a short sleeve t-shirt, a red tie right down to his ball sack. And when I say short sleeve t-shirt, I don't mean down to the elbow, I mean halfway up the arm. Looks like he'd get a COVID jab without having to move a sleeve. Uses office language outside of the office. He'll say, hey, have you picked anything from the starter menu? And she'll be like, oh, no, not yet. That's alright, we'll circle back to it. That guy. Also, I don't think you could be an influencer on LinkedIn. If you say you're an influencer on LinkedIn, that's like me saying I'm an influencer on Uber Eats. Just because you use it all the time doesn't mean you're a fucking influencer. And she said, what's the worst first date you went on? And I'm going to tell you what the worst first date I went on. Right? Try and spot the red flag. Right? I meet this girl, we've barely spoken, we matched. I was like, hey, what are you up to tonight? She's like, oh, not much. I was like, if you're feeling spontaneous, do you want to meet you for a drink? She's like, cool, send me an address, I'll see you there in 2 hours. So we meet at the bar. And I asked something very innocent, like, what have you been up to today? Very innocent question. Here's what she said, and like I said, you try to spot the red flag. She went, oh, well, I sort of woke up, I was a bit hungover, went for a run, came back, showered, went to my satanic place of worship, went to the shop, came back, had something to eat, and then you asked me out. What about you? Did you guys spot it? Did you spot the red flag? Did you spot the red flag? I know, right? She goes jogging hungover. What? What a fucking weirdo. And the thing is, like, she legitimately said that, and men will ignore a lot of red flags if the girl's hot enough. And in my head, I was like, do you know what, Mike? It's 2023. Who are you to judge someone's religious beliefs? And the thing is, to show you how much men will ignore red flags, do you know how many times I would let Ariana Grande stab me before I even considered breaking up with her? Right? And we're on the date, and I've decided I can't really continue. We're not going to see each other again. Because can you imagine what it's like to go out with a Satanist when you're not a Satanist? Right? It's a weird demographic, it's a weird relationship. You can't just break up with a Satanist. That's how you get voodoo dolls made of you. Like, what would that wedding look like? Am I going to have to sacrifice a goat? Like, we have to introduce our child. Hello, this is our child, Lucy, short for Lucifer. I have to read her nursery rhymes backwards to get her to fall asleep. Try and guess which bits I came up with today. No. What are you guys up to today? I watched the film Paddington Bear for the first time. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah.
Yeah, do we like it?
Yeah.
Everyone likes it. I've never known anyone who's seen the film and doesn't like it, right? And I think the reason why everyone likes it is because of how charming Paddington Bear is. The reason he's so charming is because he gets found at Paddington Station. Now, if you don't know about Paddington Station, that's the train station in London where all the middle-class white people get the train from. And I think if he landed at a different train station, it would be a different film, wouldn't it? If he landed at East Croydon Station, and he gets off the train and approaches the first person he finds and says, would you like a marmalade sandwich? Which is a bang-on impression of it. He's getting fucking stabbed. Right? East Croydon the Bear. He's not wearing a raincoat and a bucket hat, he's wearing a stab vest and a ski mask. It's a completely different film. I like to watch horror films. Any fans of horror films in the house?
Woo!
Okay, maybe you guys do the same thing when you watch horror films. Do you play a little game in your head called Would I Have Survived That? Right? I play it every time, and do you know what I found out unanimously? No. Right, I watched a horror film the other day, and a killer chased someone for 3 minutes. 3 minutes! Honestly, 40 seconds in, I'd get a stitch. And do you know what? I'd welcome the knife at that point. Honestly. My banking app texts me to say we're becoming more interactive with our customers, which I'm not a fan of, because every Friday they text me my bank balance. Right? And that alone is fine. It's when they put LOL at the end. That really bothers me. And they're trying to become more interactive, like, hey Mike, people who spent the money the way you did also went on to buy this, like Amazon, right? We've seen this. People who bought this product also bought this product, right? And they're like, hey Mike, people who also bought 8 Deliveroos in a row also bought a gym membership. Hey Mike, people who bought the book How to Please Your Girlfriend with a Micro Penis also bought a strap-on. And then 6 months later, an annual subscription to Tinder. Hey Michael, people who bought a wreath that said we'll always miss you mum also bought a house. It's a joke for the millennials. I don't want to impress you guys too much, but the other day I was on a podcast. Woo! Oh yes. And the host of the podcast with Mike, if you found a magic lamp and you rubbed it and a genie came out and gave you 3 wishes. 2 are for you and 1 is for the rest of the world. What would you wish for? 2 for me, that's easy. Number 1, I want to be rich. And number 2, I want me and my loved ones to live long, happy, healthy lives. But then I thought, what about wish number 3? The wish for the world. Do I eliminate poverty? Cure all disease? World peace? And I thought, no. I know what this world needs more than anything right now, and that is an episode of Celebrity Gogglebox where the royal family watched that interview Harry and Meghan gave. I'd watch the shit out of that, wouldn't you guys? And the thing is, I watched the interview and I thought the maddest part of it was when Prince Harry said that he doesn't watch The Crown. Fuck off. If Netflix made a show about me and my family, I'd tune in just to see who they cast as me. Because in my head, Tom Hardy's the obvious choice. But I think in reality, they cast Ricky Gervais. I went to an all-boys military school, ladies and gentlemen. That's as fun as it sounds. It was the sort of place where toxic masculinity was on the syllabus. Right? In my school, we didn't learn any subjects that were considered feminine, like art, or drama, or French. Our head teacher said to learn another language is to mentally prepare to lose a war. It was the sort of school where during sex education, when the teacher said, does anyone know what a cervix is? One kid put his hand up and said, is that what Jesus died on? And that kid was me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, last year was a big year for me. Last year I turned 35.
Wait.
Oh yes, my 35th birthday. Facebook sent me a notification. It went, hey Mike, here's something you put on Facebook when you were 19. So I thought, right, let's see what this guy has to say for himself. 19-year-old me had written a list. Things I want to accomplish by the time I'm in my 30s. So I thought, right, let's see how close I came to accomplishing 19-year-old me's dreams. First thing he put, own my own house. Oh, bless him. Second thing he put, have a job that pays at least 100 grand a year. Not with the grades he got in school. This is the same guy I thought was funny that his GCSE results spelled out the word fudge. This is the same guy in his first day of work experience at a builder's site. Spent an hour and a half trying to find a fallopian tube. So to celebrate turning 35, ladies and gentlemen, I went on holiday.
Brave.
With my mum.
Brave.
Yeah, me and my mum. We went to Spain for 2 weeks. About 9 days in, my mum started getting cocky. She wanted to order her food in Spanish. We were in Benidorm. No fucking need for it. She went, Mike, how to order a chicken sandwich in Spanish? Now, for those of you who don't speak Spanish in the room, the Spanish for chicken is pollo. And the Spanish for penis is polla. And ladies and gentlemen, I saw an opportunity to stitch my mum right up. The way it came over said, what would you like to eat? And with all the confidence in the world, my mum turns to him and says, hola. Uno polla sandwich por favor. The way I started laughing, he looks at me, I'm pissing myself. And out of nowhere, my mum just goes, grande! And do you know what? Pedro's been a pretty good stepdad so far. Thanks for my name is Michael Frankland. Thank you very much.